show up for Week 13 against the New York Jets. Before we talk about this week's game, I just want to talk about the last game. Woo! Yeah! They won. It was the best game I've ever seen from them in a long time, and they did it at home, and the weather was amazing, and it was just great. Wow. I picked the score almost. I was off by 3 points. I'm not leading that, or I'm not tied with the Kia.
The Kia, yeah. So do you want us to talk about that?
Yeah. Let's do that.
All right. Well, it was Perry Fuel's first win. It was good to see that happen. He was very fired up and ready to go. And but you know what? It was a very close game, most of the game. Except this time we finally came out on top.
In the fourth quarter, we were the team that scored 24 points or 21. How many would have been scoring against us?
Right.
So, Justin, what was your take on the game?
Hey, they fought hard for 60 minutes. They didn't quit. Perry Fuel has been doing a lot during the week by having the guys actually practice with pads and stuff like that. And I like the way they looked. Hopefully it parlays into a win Thursday as well.
Yeah, we'd really like them to have a game on TV in Toronto. The tickets are pretty expensive, like he was saying. So what were you saying about that?
Ted Rogers paid Ralph a big amount of money, sure enough. That means that the fans in Toronto for a smaller stadium are going to have to pay more per ticket. Kind of leads into our question of the week, though. Aid Kranz is saying, is it worth going to the Toronto game, especially for the Canadians? Well, or deal with the Canadians even. But you know what? I say it's worth it because it's NFL football. They don't get to see it that often. And I grant you, the prices are basically gouged, kind of like what you would expect to pay in Dallas or D.C. But it's NFL football. You probably won't have it past 2015 in Toronto.
Right. So what do you think?
I mean, I think for the Canadians, it's definitely worth it because they only have this one game for the entire year. For people who, like yourselves, season ticket holders, probably not. Only because it's a hassle to get over the border. Where you got to stay? So much more money has to go into it. As long as they're selling out in Canada, I think.
And they're not. They're not selling out.
That's the problem.
And that means more Canadians need to be going.
Not to mention it means blackouts for us.
Otherwise, and you know what, if the Canadians aren't going, then that means we shouldn't be over there in the first place, and we need to stop this once the 5-year thing is
I mean, after all, I agree there. In Canada, come on. Right now, you guys are done with football. The CFL just had the Grey Cup. You got one last game for the season. Go ahead and watch it, seriously.
All right, so both the Bills and the Bats just won their first time in 4 games, and that Mark Sanchez getting how well he did last game. So how do you think he's going to do against the Bills?
Well, the Bills have been playing tough basically the last 3 weeks. I'll even count the first 3 quarters of the Titans game. They played tough against a good team there. I think that the defense is going to look good. Dante Whitner, people criticized him for subpar performances. He was even getting an interception today.
I think everyone gets an interception today.
Yeah.
5?
I don't know. Last time we faced the Jets, there were 5 interceptions on Sanchez alone. So, with Bird getting 2 of them at that point.
Yeah.
So, I think that as long as our defense keeps up to form, Sanchez is going to have his hands full.
Okay, so what do you think about the game against the Jets?
I think that, like you said, I think we did a decent job of stopping Sanchez last game. What we really need to do, though, is stop Thomas Jones, because last game he he ran, I think, 210 yards against us, which is a lot of yards.
Don't forget about Sean Green as well. He's been rushing very well.
And we just shut down Ricky Williams, so maybe they
we shut down.
And we didn't shut him down.
We didn't Rich Jones-Drew. We shut down. We didn't shut down, like you said. We did pretty.
We didn't shut down. We contained them. That's right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We contained him from busting 250.
It'll help us out a lot.
Yeah, so I mean, considering he had 220 against the Bills last game?
210, yeah.
All right, yeah. So, I would say that first thing we need to do is just stack the box and jam up Thomas Jones, Sean Green, and let the rookie try and beat us because he's been looking like a rookie as of late.
Yeah, okay. Next topic when it comes to the Jets, they have Revis. He's probably one of the best corners in the game. T.O. versus Revis and Evans.
Revis as well.
So what do we think about that matchup?
Hey, whichever one he's not covering, throw it to the other guy.
Yeah, that's I agree with that definitely. What do you think? Same thing?
Pretty much, yeah. I think that he's going to be a problem for whatever receivers on him, so we got to really
move the receivers around.
Yeah. Switch him up on both sides. I think a couple weeks ago we actually motioned Evans and Owens.
We've been starting to move the receivers around.
And then throw it to the guy who's not on him.
It's no longer Dick Geron's Pop Warner offense.
I think you also have to get the other receivers involved too. The third receiver, your tight ends.
Sean
Nelson's been looking good out of the slot. Now even as a tight end, they've been lining up in the slot.
He's a beast.
And for a rookie, I like what I see out of him. Maybe he's a future Shannon Sharp.
Or even out of the backfield too, even McIntyre. McIntyre had a couple. He caught that pop fly today.
Yeah.
That and Jackson on the dump offs, that was a little bit of a criticism that Edwards is giving him too much to him and Lynch.
But it's okay to do every once in a while, you know what I mean? And when you have a really good corner like Revis, you got to work around that.
And now it's time for Justin's Trivia Corner.
Thank you, Sean, you hippie. Get a haircut. This is Justin's Trivia Corner, brought to you this week by 5 Hour Energy. This week's question, Perry Fiola won his first game against Miami as Bills head coach. Which Bills coach was the last one to win in their debut against Miami? This has been Justin's Trivia Corner.
I like my hair.
Thank you.
And now it's time for a special thanks for a couple of people. We want to thank Fanatic2. He's a real man. He talks smack and then he took it back, and he's a real man for that. Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank Chevalier for talking a lot of smack and basically saying that dolphins are mammals. Well, duh, we know that. We pick on Dolphins fans by calling them fish.
And you want to thank?
My parents. Thanks for being supportive.
And I'd also like to thank the New York State Police, Lancaster probably. They're amazing. They like to meet quotas at the end of months after Bills games and pick on 17-year-old kids who run yellow lights and don't actually run red lights. Alright, thank you. And now it's time for the picks, or the keys of the game. My key to the game is the fans. Last time there were so many Dolphins fans in Toronto, it was ridiculous. The Bills had no home field advantage at all. It was all Dolphins. Alright, what's yours?
Control the clock. That's one thing the Bills did very well against the Dolphins. They weren't being, the defense wasn't on the field for 40 minutes. So I'd like to see them control the clock and take it to the Jets this week.
Alright, what's yours?
I'm going to say stop the run. We've been able to do it the last couple of weeks. We need to keep doing it. If we contain Thomas Jones, we should be able to control the offensive part of the game.
Alright, and I don't have a pick to the game yet, so I'm going to ask Justin first. What's yours?
My pick to the game will be the Bills. I'm going to say 27-17.
Alright, and what's yours?
I have to go, unfortunately, with the Jets, 24-10.
Oh, wow. Alright, my pick to the game is Bills lose a close one, 24-21 to the Lonely Jets.
And Nakia will have her pick on the screen.
She will.
Alright, and that is all the time we have for you this week. Join us next week for the Chiefs.